It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for Chargers. What happened?
Why did you have to start off with that, Greg?
I I figured I'd start on a lighter note because we're going to get into something heavy.
My Super Bowl is also gone.
It is what it is. But welcome to the Greg Cherry Show. Greg Cherry alongside Maddie Laws, as we always are. I want to start the show off by talking about the unfortunate news that we heard yesterday. Jay Briscoe, one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions and former Ring of Honor champion, but much one of the faces of that entire brand, tragically passed away in a car accident yesterday. And it's just so hard to fathom, especially, he was only in his late 30s when this happened. And you're just never promised tomorrow. And it sounds very cliche to say, but we really don't know what's going to happen from day to day. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm a massive like Briscoe's fan, like reading his history or whatever. But it's just such a tragic loss to one half of one of the most revered tag teams of all time. And it makes it even worse that today is Mark Briscoe's birthday.
Yeah, I was about to say Mark Briscoe, I believe, turns 38 today. Yeah. Jay Briscoe passed away at 38, and he would have turned 39 next week.
So, it's just so rough that I can't even process it.
I apologize if I get emotional at any point talking about this.
You don't have to apologize for anything. It's understandable.
Because me and my brother, we grew up very close. Me and my brother are only 5 years apart. We grew up and we idolized tag teams like the Hearts, the Hardys, because blood tag teams always give you that more of a personal connection with them. But with the Briscoes, it was different. Both men started out underaged, like they started wrestling underneath masks just so that they could get on these wrestling shows because, they weren't 18.
Right.
And just seeing them, I didn't get introduced to them until about, I want to say 2009, 2010, when I first got introduced to Ring of Honor. And yeah, they are one of the constants of not just pro wrestling, but tag team wrestling. And as the older brother in my situation, I could only imagine what Mark Briscoe is going through right now. Like, I couldn't even fathom losing my brother, let alone someone that I travel the road with daily for the better part of the last 20 years. My entire heart and thoughts go out to Mark Briscoe, Ashley Pugh, and the little girl that is currently still fighting for her life and doesn't know if she'll ever walk again.
It's just
I've been destroyed for the last 24 hours.
Like I said, it's understandable, and you never want to hear these stories. You hope these stories never happen, but the unfortunate part about living on this earth is stuff like this can. And there's nothing we can do about it, but pray that he's in a better place,
and be thankful for the 20 years of blood, sweat, tears, and bone that this man has given to us. You can look at any Briscoe's tag team feud, whether it be War Machine, the Young Bucks, SCU. And I always look at the matches between Jay and Mark Briscoe because not only did they have this immaculate, chemistry as a tag team, but they beat the high hell out of each other and made it look beautiful whenever they were working together. If you guys go and watch any Jay Briscoe match on Ring of Honor's YouTube channel during the pandemic, they had a match on the farm. It was just the fight on the farm between Mark and Jay. And it is so fun to watch because both them boys just go and have a backyard wrestling match. I can't believe Jay Briscoe's gone. Like it's
I don't know if there's any more that I personally can add to that, except our prayers are with the Pugh family at this time. There's really no way to smoothly transition to our next topic. But
forever, the double underhook pile driver will be known as the Jay Driller for me. Forever.
I'm waiting for somebody to bust it out on Dynamite tonight. I really am.
It's gonna be the Young Bucks match. I can guarantee it.
It has to be the finish too.
I was about to say, if they don't pop a Doomsday Bulldog, I'm gonna be real sad.
Yeah. All right, but we are going to talk about Super Wildcard Weekend here.
Yeah, let's get the hopes up a little bit more. Oh God, the Chargers are out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and in quite possibly one of the worst fashion, as they held a 27-0 lead. Your parlay was not as bad. Did you see this story on Twitter that somebody bet the money line on the Chargers when they were up 27-0? They put $1.4 million on the Chargers to win that game. They only would have netted about 11 grand out of it. But then the Jags came back and won, and the dude lost $1.5 million.
So whenever that game was going on, I was going to bed as it was, I believe, 30-20, and I was like, "Ooh, Jags are coming back." Trevor Lawrence threw 4 interceptions in the first half. There's no way. I go to bed, and I wake up, and the Twitter feed is nothing but, "Holy hell, this is unreal." Sean Ross Sapp tweeted out, "Bro, this is absolutely unreal." And then I open up Twitter, and the Jags only went and beat the Chargers 31-30. So I'll open the curtain a little bit. My Super Bowl parlay was going to be the Chargers versus the Vikings, and let's just
wow.
Boy, howdy!
What the hell? I mean, you lost both of them this past weekend.
In one night, both of my Super Bowl hopefuls just out.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Jaguars. Congratulations to the Giants. Little did I think that Spotted Kitty would go meow.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I'm surprised that the Giants beat the Vikings, or really if I'm surprised that the Giants even made the playoffs to begin with.
That's the latter for me.
Prior to this year, and this show has been notorious for, we ragged on the NFC East. But they showed up this year. The Cowboys, the Giants, the Eagles. I mean, the Commanders.
The Commanders
tried.
Were the Commanders.
Yeah, the Commanders tried.
I mean, Taylor Heineke was doing the absolute best in lieu of FedEx Field and Dan Snyder.
Yeah. I do want to post this banner up as soon as I can. Because we are doing the Rumble Numbers game next week. So
hell yeah.
I do want to say this because somebody donated to the Streamlabs for the game. I won't name names, but they take money out of that. And I said that last week.
Mm-hmm.
They take a little money out of that. So now I got to, unless I end up winning the game next week.
And you even have a nice little video out on where
I do
donate.
Yeah, so if you want to donate to the channel, if you want a wheel spin tonight, use the Streamlabs link. It's right there. It's also in the description of the video. But if you want the Rumble Numbers game, if you want to be included in that specifically, send the money to the PayPal address that you see below, because that's where I got the money. We do have some entries in that already.
How many are we looking at so far?
So far, well, we have Jeff and I each have one.
Okay.
And then Daisy Ruth, who has been on the show, her fiance and her brother each have a spot in each Rumble. So that is 5 spots each. And then Dwayne sent in 5 more per Rumble. So we have a third of the field. Yeah, we have a third of the field already filled, and the drawing isn't even until next week, which I'm excited about. I'm glad this is happening.
Speaking of, I can't believe how quick the Rumble came up on us. That thing ran up on us like it owed us lunch, or like we owed it lunch money.
Yeah, it's next Saturday, dude.
Oh my God. The captain messaged me and it was like 10 days till the Rumbles, boy. And I was like, it's insane. I feel like just last week we were talking about it being 21 days away.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And unfortunately, it won't be as big as a spectacular in this house because we're still not in our living room from moving because we're doing so many renovations to this house. But next year we're gonna have all the couches. It's gonna be carpeted. It's gonna look lovely. We're gonna have a big ass TV. Yeah. It's gonna be wonderful. The Rumble next year is gonna be so good. Yeah, and Josh is saying, the Rumble came so quick, despite us not having a PLE since Survivor Series. Yeah, we haven't had a PLE.
Yeah, we didn't have a December pay-per-view.
No. There was no, TLC or anything like that.
We did have Final Battle to tie this over, didn't they?
Well, WWE.
Yeah, but no, I was just trying to think. I didn't think that we had any pay-per-views, but I think Ring of Honor kind of slid in to save us in December.
Yeah, Ring of Honor had Final Battle.
I don't think AEW had Full Gear in November.
Yeah, Full Gear was in November. That was early November too. So.
Yeah, and then we had Survivor Series late November.
Yeah. Back to football though. The Giants advanced. The Bills escaped the Dolphins.
Okay,
I gotta tell you, I did not.
That one feels like it takes some unpacking because the Bills, from the beginning of the season, were the Super Bowl favorites. Everybody was talking about it. Someone explained to me how one of the best defenses of this season almost lost to Skylar Thompson, a third-string quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
I can't explain that to you.
Josh Allen, I think, only ran for 24 yards the whole game.
Yeah. The fact that the Bills and I feel like, especially since the Damar Hamlin stuff happened, the Bills kind of have to win. Any team that beats them from here on out is going to be immediately hated.
Oh, yeah. Well, you also have to look. I feel like they kept it close for a reason. They beat the Dolphins by 3. It was 31-34. So whenever I saw that score, I was like, the world works in some really fucking mysterious ways.
Yeah.
So, again, I think the Bills are a team of destiny. This is their year to win it.
I hope so. The Bills they've been so close so many times before. We discussed it last week. I believe 4 years in a row, they went to the Super Bowl and lost
all 4 years. And I think one of those years it was 41-9 or something like that. They got blown out in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And then of course, wide right was another one.
Oh yeah. Speaking of another game in Wild Card Weekend, the Cowboys beat the Buccaneers with no help from their kicker.
Oh my gosh!
4 missed extra points.
4
in a row.
At one point, Dak Prescott was yelling at the sidelines, like, "What are we doing? Just go for two."
Peyton, the Manning cast had it on ESPN too, and it's been known Peyton Manning is not a fan of kickers. The moment Mayer missed the third kick, Peyton stood up off the couch and walked off screen.
He did. I watched the clip of that. Yeah, it's incredible.
The Cowboys if the Cowboys didn't dominate the Buccaneers like they did, we would still have Tom Brady in this next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, because like Brady maybe like 2 years ago would have made them pay.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're just gonna keep missing extra points every time. 2-point conversion. We're just gonna sneak it in over the top.
Yep, make them pay for it. So this coming weekend, we have the Jaguars and the Chiefs, which that should probably be a more interesting game than people would think. The Giants and the Eagles, which already an NFC East rivalry, so that should be fun.
In Philly, isn't it?
Yeah, because Philly has the number one seed. The Bengals and the Bills, which
that game is so anticipated. People are so excited for that game.
Yeah, they are, especially because, I mean, they were supposed to play 2 weeks ago,
and it only got 6 minutes into the first quarter.
Yeah, so if the Bengals beat the Bills, if the Bengals are the team to beat the Bills, universally hated because it was against them that the DeMar Hamlin thing happened. And of course, the Cowboys and the 49ers in the battle of hey, we're at 5 Super Bowls. One of us has got to get to 6 at some point.
Cowboys and the 49ers. Who would have thought that was going to be a playoff game this year?
It didn't seem like it was going to be. And then the 49ers just went off. And Brock Purdy is showing that, hey, Mr. Irrelevant is an outdated term.
Yeah, how are you feeling about a good old BCB over there in San Fran?
Oh, BCB?
Big Cock Brock.
I forgot that he used that nickname. I even saw like a quote about that. I
was about to say, even teammates were like tweeting it out. Hashtag BCB. I was dead.
Oh, jeez. Did you see the clip of him being introduced by Paul Heyman?
That was nuts. I think that put a little bit of fire underneath them 49ers because they put a whooping on them Seahawks. Not so much in the first half. It was a good game in the first half.
I think of any team right now in the AFC, the Bengals might be the team to beat the Bills. And I hate to say that, especially considering the AFC North rivalry with Pittsburgh, but
do you want to keep it in the division like I was wanting to?
But if we keep it in the division, like it's rough because there's so many bragging rights with saying, "Ha, you guys still don't have any," and
well, you guys have had one in the last 20 years. I think you have 2 in the last 20, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I meant the Bengals don't have any.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the Steelers have a couple since 2000. The Ravens have had a couple since 2000.
Oh yeah, my brother won't let me not hear about them.
And of course, the Browns and the Bengals, are not great. Sorry, Josh. So yeah, the Jags and the Chiefs. That one could get tricky.
That's the only one that I'm so concerned about. I think I bet on the Jaguars to win, but that's just because I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes make it to another championship game.
I mean, that's all Patrick Mahomes has done is make it to the AFC Championship.
Patrick Mahomes does no wrong. I hate that man.
At least his acting skills have slightly improved.
Yeah, those early commercials kind of sucked.
Yeah, like he's gotten better. He's gotten more comical as time has gone along.
And he had that charisma like when he started playing, but it just didn't translate. I don't know. I think maybe in a couple of years we might see him maybe dip his toe and do something in a WWE ring. Nothing like performance wise, but maybe as try to talk up a crowd in KC.
Possibly. Josh is saying I want a Bills versus 49ers Super Bowl. That is
might be
that's a distinct possibility.
And my roommate's a Niners fan too, so whenever I was like, "Oh, by the way, Jimmy G got hurt," he's like, "Okay, not a big fan of Jimmy G. You guys don't have Trey Lance. Okay, our season's over. Mr. Irrelevant has taken you guys 6-0 in the last games of the regular season. You guys are in the playoffs now."
Yeah, and it's not even like escaping. Like he is playing high level of football right now.
That stat line on Saturday was ridiculous. I think he only missed 6 passes for over 300 yards and 4 tutties.
And Josh is also saying if we get the Bengals versus Cowboys, that would tear Jeff Meacham in two because he has family connections since but he's also a Cowboys fan.
I think I would like to see that actually because I'd like to see how Dak does in a Super Bowl setting. But then again, I also just want Joe Burrow to get a title early because God knows how long that Bengals window is.
I mean, he's said that it's his entire career, which that's very arrogant for a football team that has never won a championship, and that includes pre-Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you one team that isn't going to win the Super Bowl anytime soon, and that's the Steelers, because we decided, hey, we're going to keep Matt Canada.
I saw that earlier today. I cannot believe it. That would have been like if Denver went the entire season and was like, you know what? Nathaniel Hackett wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I think the only reason you guys are bringing Matt Canada back is because good old UPS Mike Tomlin, rain, sleet, or snow, he's getting that winning season.
Yeah, he always delivers. It's...
If you guys didn't get a winning season, you wouldn't have Matt Canada. I blame Tomlin for you guys on this situation.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I think the 49ers are going to – I don't want to say they're going to dog walk the Cowboys because I thought the Bills were going to dog walk the Dolphins, and they didn't by any stretch.
They should have. They should have easily.
So I'm not sure what that's going to mean as far as the Bills against the Bengals and the Cowboys against the 49ers. Bills 49ers is a possibility. I said Bills Vikings, and I was clearly wrong.
You were clearly wrong.
Honestly, in a division that has the or in a conference rather that has the Bills and the Chiefs, you went with the Chargers.
Okay. No, the moment I heard
that good.
The only reason I heard Justin Herbert got into the playoffs, and I was like, this guy is a dog. He's gonna make it. And boy, I think it was the same thing. Every time I put my faith into Kirk Cousins, I get mediocre Washington football team Kirk Cousins.
Well, you apparently don't like that. Crying out loud.
Oh, Lord.
So it's going to be a fun divisional playoff round.
It's been a really fun, Super Wild Card Weekend really delivered. All of those games were really good.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'll be able to actually get to sit down and enjoy some football this weekend. Yeah, again, with all the house projects and stuff, it's been rough. So it's the fact that the Steelers aren't in it is kind of nice for my time management. But, it would still be nice if I could watch some playoff football.
Do you guys have any decent draft picks coming up this year or no?
Well, thanks to the Chase Claypool trade to the Bears, we got the 32nd pick in the draft as well as a first-round pick.
Let's go.
So we got some pretty sweet draft capital coming up next season, as long as we don't trade it away.
There's not a whole lot in terms of quarterback, but you guys could definitely bolster your guys' defense. There's some good defensive players in this draft class.
I don't know how much. Well, if Devin Bush ends up leaving, which I'm fine with that, then
That's
we could
another
probably
sad
invest
story,
in the
too.
defense. I would like to invest in our offensive line, which I was yelling about last season, and we didn't draft a single offensive lineman.
There's some Bulldogs coming up in that draft class as well for offensive line. So,
yep,
go ahead.
They'll definitely have that dog in them.
Hopefully, grab yourself a Georgia Bulldog off that draft class.
Zach's asking, what did you see on that Bengals fumble return? I saw one of the Ravens fumble. And, I also saw a block in the back that wasn't called. But
I didn't see the play itself, but I did, however, see sister of one of the Ravens players after the fact of the play tweeted out, "Man, Sam Hubbard guy's kind of hot." It be your own family sometimes.
Yeah. Stuff.
And wasn't it also the biggest fumble return in NFL history for the playoffs?
Fumble, I believe so, because obviously
James Harrison
had
yards.
the interception, and there have been punt returns that have been longer, or kickoff returns rather, that have been longer. Because I think the Ravens 49ers one had.
I was about to say it's. I think full length. I think it was 111.
111.
Yeah, like I think his foot was like at the very edge of the end zone, and they counted it as 111 yards.
Which I didn't even think was possible because I thought the end zones were only 10 yards.
I might be wrong, but I thought I saw it was like 111 on the record itself.
I feel like it's 109.
It could be 109
because if it was 111, he'd be out of bounds.
Mm-hmm. Get that Dan Orlovsky rub over there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was Jacoby Jones too, because that was right after the power outage, I believe.
Yeah, and I called it too right after the power outage, or like during the power outage. I tweeted out, it's like, how many headlines are gonna say whoever wins turns the lights out on them? And then I see the next day there's a bunch of headlines. It's like, wow, you guys are creative. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was 109.
I figured.
Yeah.
Regardless. So yeah, I think it was the longest fumble return in the playoffs.
That picture of man flexing with the oxygen mask on too after the run.
Hey, the Harbaughs, they know how to lose those playoff games.
Oh, don't talk about losing playoff games in Harbaugh. We might be getting John, or Jim. Yeah, Jim.
No, he said he's staying with the Wolverines.
Oh, when did that come out?
Yeah, he's come out and said that. So you're not getting a Harbaugh.
Son of a bitch.
At least not yet.
So what? Now the choices are Todd Downing, Demario Davis, and it's not going to be Sean Payton because we're not bringing Vic Fangio back.
It's going to be Romeo Crennel.
Oh no! I think I saw someone else say it's going to be a Greg Roman from the Ravens, and I was like, oh god! I'm looking at another couple of years of shit, aren't I, Greg?
It's going to be Marvin Lewis.
Oh no! Lovie Smith, bring us Lovie.
Lovie Smith, there you go.
At least I can trust that beard to get me a decent fucking sailed tank.
I don't know if you blame the Texans season on Lovie Smith. He only had the 1 year, which I think that's ridiculous.
When you know you're losing your job, Lovie Smith did exactly what Lovie Smith needed to do.
He won a game and screwed him out of their next pick.
What was it? Tom Grossi, I think, did one of the best little shorts on it. He was he played a Bears and a Texans owner, and he's like, "Hey guys, just wanted to wish you guys luck on your next game. You know, if you lose, we get that number 1 overall pick."
Yeah.
And he was like, so you guys are firing Lovey Smith, right? Nah, we're not going to. You can tell me. Yeah, we're going to fire him. You hear that, Lovey? Execute Order 86.
Yeah.
I've never seen a more gloriously failed tank than I did this season.
Well, hey, it worked out in the Steelers' favor because, like I said, since the Bears just completely tanked, the Steelers got their draft pick.
And they had one of the most explosive quarterbacks in Justin Fields. So that just kind of doesn't add up to me.
It must be a defensive issue then, because
it has to.
I'm going to just check real quick because I'm excited for the Rumble drawing next week, because that's going to be this show, and we are going to start at a special start time of 6:30 p.m. Eastern, because that thing takes a while.
Oh yeah, just rolling the numbers out.
Just rolling the numbers, getting everybody organized. I'll make sure to have, and there's going to be a whole bunch of people on stream that'll participate. Maddie, I don't know if you want in on the Rumble.
I'm definitely going to send you some money.
All right, sounds good.
I'll at least send you a pick for each Rumble.
All right, sounds good to me. I'm, like I said, just double checking, make sure I haven't gotten anything else. No, nothing else yet, but there is some. Dwayne, since you've sent in money, yes, you'll be in the show. I figure that's only fair. If you submitted money to participate, then you at least get to be on screen while the numbers get picked.
In other sports talk, your Pittsburgh Pirates, aren't they making some moves in the offseason right now?
They're not my Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, you're not a fan of the Pirates?
I'm a Yankees fan, bro.
Oh, you see.
Yeah. And the only move I cared about is Aaron Judge stayed with the Yankees. That's the only one I cared about.
I have a bold prediction for this baseball season, and it's going to be that someone gets over 63 home runs this year. I don't know why. I just got a hunch.
It's very possible. Josh, the minimum for it is $5 a pick. So if you just submit $5, you get to pick which Rumble you get. And then I am going to take everybody's name and shuffle them, because it's just for the entry. It's not for, if you're first in, you don't get the first draw, which may or may not benefit you. Because the first draw, I could draw like number 3 or something. And it's like, yeah, I don't want that one. So I'm going to shuffle everybody's names, going to draw them that way, and then we'll figure it out from there. If we end up getting more people involved that want to do this, because it's first come, first serve for the random draw, then afterwards I'll assign people numbers if we exceed our 60 spots available.
We are a week and change away from the Rumble. You have any change in plans on who you think the winner is, or are you still thinking the usual suspects?
For the men's, I still think it's going to be Cody Rhodes. The women's one, in my opinion, is up in the air. Like, I can believe that Rhea Ripley would win it, but I'd be for a Ripley-Bianca match at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see Ripley and Flair again. I don't. No. I have no desire. Quite frankly, I thought a lot of their matches were overrated.
Yeah, like
except for Money in the Bank one. Their Money in the Bank one was really good.
Yeah, that I think that they had good matches. The issue with their match in the Thunderdome was the fact that it was in the Thunderdome. I think if that would have been in front of a crowd for WrestleMania, it would have had a better feel to it.
I didn't even think that was the best women's match on the show.
It wasn't. It by no means was it.
The 5 women SmackDown women's title match I thought was better.
I forgot about that match being on that WrestleMania.
Yeah. It was Bayley, Sasha, Lacey Evans, Tamina, and might have been Naomi.
I think it was Naomi, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that match was in my opinion, better than the Ripley Charlotte Flair match from WrestleMania 36.
Also,
a lot of people like the Ripley Charlotte match, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying I didn't personally enjoy it.
And like you said, the Money in the Bank match was definitely their best match that they had together.
I thought so.
Didn't I see on Twitter, is both mid-card champions in the Rumble match this year? Because I think I saw Gunther and Austin Theory in the Rumble, or on the graphic at least.
Yeah, Austin Theory is probably going to be in the Rumble. Gunther will probably be in the Rumble. I have no idea if Roman's doing anything, quite frankly.
Didn't it get announced that it's him versus KO?
He's facing Owens. Never mind.
So him, KO. Are they pushing Judgment Day versus Usos to the pay-per-view?
As far as I knew, that match I thought was taking place on Raw 30 on Monday.
Okay. I have a very strong feeling that some of those matches are just going to be replayed for us on Saturday next week.
They might be, because, I mean, you have that. You have Bliss and Bianca for the women's title. The two Rumbles. There's not going to be a ton of matches. Like
there's typically like 5 total, and 2 of them are the
5 or 6,
and 2 of them are the Rumble matches.
Yeah.
I think, Judgment Day.
I thought it was.
And then I know I saw Bayley versus Becky in a steel cage on Monday as well.
Yep, that's going to be on Monday too. They're likely both going to be in the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Did I hear that it's Charlotte versus Ronnie at the Rumble?
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that Charlotte's doing anything. I hope they don't put her in the Rumble again, because I have, and this is going to sound hypocritical coming from me, I don't like champions being in the Rumble unless their title's on the line.
Mm-hmm.
I say that, and yet my favorite Rumble match of all time is the 2020 men's, where Brock entered as champion. So, yes, I understand the hypocrisy coming from me. It's just a preference. Can it work? Yeah. With the women's match last year, I don't feel like it worked.
Yeah, and with the 2020 Rumble, it was the essence of, okay, not only are these people, kind of competing to see who faces Brock at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But it was Brock Lesnar eliminating 16 people 13 to start the match. Like, that's crazy. Whenever that happened, I was like, oh, Lord, they're really going to book Brock to just destroy the Royal Rumble.
You know what? In hindsight, it was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody had ever done that before. Nobody had just, like, you had a couple, like, some people just running through like 3 or 4 guys. You never had them running through the first half of the match.
And keeping themselves almost entirely by themselves in the ring.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this year's Rumble. I think we're going to be in for probably not like a top 5 Rumble pay-per-view, but maybe a top 10. Maybe.
I'm just hoping the Rumble matches are better than they were last year. Like, at minimum, because last year's women's and men's Rumble sucked. So,
well, they also gave away I think all of the women's entrants were announced ahead of time.
Not all of them. There were a few that they held back because Cameron wasn't announced, Ivory wasn't announced,
and neither was Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox wasn't, Molly Holly wasn't, Ronda wasn't, obviously.
Yeah. But they had like a large portion of the women's already announced ahead of time, and then I think the men's had like 13 or 15 announced ahead of time.
Yeah, and
I think the only the 2 big spots in that Rumble were, holy shit, that's Bad Bunny entering the Royal Rumble. And, oh my God, Shane McMahon just eliminated Kevin Owens from the Royal Rumble.
Dwayne, you shut your whore mouth. I'm going to say this. Shane McMahon, I don't care what anybody says, his appearance made me enjoy that Rumble more.
It was fun.
Was it good? No, it was a terrible Royal Rumble. But Shane being in it made me enjoy it more.
I'm not going to lie. I was marking out. I was dancing and singing while Shane McMahon's music was playing. So,
I was going nuts when Shane came out. But
you know who I won't go nuts for if they come out? If I hear No Chance in Hell, I might be one of the only people in that building dead silent. I'd be so mad.
Or booing.
Yeah, the audible displeasure.
Yeah. Listen, I understand last year, and people blame Shane for how bad the Rumble was.
It wasn't his fault. He entered late.
The Rumble wasn't good until, like, I say good, but the Rumble wasn't passable until, like, Drew entered, because we didn't expect him to be there. And then, like, Bad Bunny and then Shane. And then once Lesnar came in, like, you knew where it was going. So
the only upside to that was after the Rumble, like, Lesnar just dipped like almost immediately after he won. And then you see Matt Riddle running around the ring as he's looking for Orton, grabs Orton by the back of the neck, throws him into the ring, and tells him to get his flowers because we were in St. Louis.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment to be there live for. I don't know if we'll get a moment like that in San Antonio, because unless Shawn Michaels is in the last 4 of the Rumble.
If Shawn Michaels randomly enters that Royal Rumble, I might go crazier than I did for Shane.
All right. Who is on your list of dream surprise appearances for this year's Rumble?
Well, Shawn would be one. Dream appearances.
I've got the Great Muta on there just for me, because
that would be cool. Seeing the Great Muta would be cool, especially because it's like his retirement tour. I wouldn't be mad if somebody from AEW showed up.
I would love to see a cross promotion of some sort.
With
any promotion.
If MJF was not champion right now, him entering would make a ton of sense.
I think this would only work because of his short period of time with WWE. Lance Archer entering the Royal Rumble would be quite the pop, I think, because of his transformation as what he was over 10 years ago.
Maybe, because I don't think barely anybody remembers that Lance Archer, who was then known as Vance Archer,
Bro, it's so
Vance
crazy.
Archer.
Dude, is it just me, or does he look like he was 5 inches shorter when he was Vance Archer?
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you go back and watch those matches, dude looks so much shorter. And now he's like 6'10".
Maybe he has lifts in his boots. I don't know. As far as like dream entrance, though, women's entrance, I would like to see. I mean, they've done so many of the women's entrance. Like, I'm trying to think. Eve Torres would be cool to enter that match. It's been a while since she's been there.
Here's one just to throw some gasoline on people's rumors. How cool would it be if Kairi just came in for the fucking Rumble?
She might. She'd be champion.
Mm-hmm.
And another dream entrant would be, I'd love for Sasha to be back, but she's already going to be doing her thing with New Japan, so I don't think she's coming back anytime soon.
Nah. When I saw her actually appear at Wrestle Kingdom, I was like, okay, you know what?
And her match with Kairi isn't until February, so
early February, right? Or is it middle of February?
It's like middle February.
And hey, kudos to her. You proved that you were a fucking draw, Mercedes, because you sold out the San Jose arena.
Yep.
Off of your name value alone. So people that say she's not a draw can kindly put their money where their mouth is.
Mm-hmm. And it's been something I've been saying for years. I was saying Sasha is one of the critical parts of the women's division, and people kept dismissing it. It's like, oh, she's not even that good. Oh, she's not that much of a draw. It's like, pay attention. And it's like you're either not watching, you're delusional, or you're racist. One of those things.
There's got to be something.
It's like you're just denying facts at this point. And like people think I'm crazy. It's like, oh, you're just a Sasha stan. It's like she's talented. Like I know what I'm talking about. I've been watching wrestling for over 30 years at this point. I think I know kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're sitting there going, yeah, I'll be a stan for someone that's genuinely one of the best of our fucking generation.
I think of all time.
Like you tell FTR, oh, you guys are just Brett stans. Yes, we are.
It's like, what's wrong with that? Like, I'm not gonna talk crap about Bret Hart.
You're calling someone a stan for someone who can genuinely be called one of the greatest of all times.
Yeah,
that's not being a stan. That's being a fan.
Yeah, I will never understand. And yeah, did her finisher not look great at Wrestle Kingdom? No.
And we don't even know if that's her finisher. That was just a move that she did.
Yeah.
She could easily find, and yeah, even like seeing the clip of like how it was supposed to work like flawlessly, it's a very complicated style move. Like you're getting them in the gory position to start out, and then you're wanting to flip them into like a DDT. It's very convoluted.
It is a little convoluted.
I hope that she goes with another submission style finisher. Personally,
yeah, I mean she could do like a Nagata lock or something. Like just steal from the Yuji Nagata playbook. So pick which one you want to use, because he had multiple. But yeah, let's get to some questions in the chat because I've seen a couple of them. Didn't address them all, but Ray is saying, do you see The Rock being in the Rumble? I'm trying to figure out if The Rock's going to be there on Monday because they're doing the bloodline acknowledgement ceremony.
And all generations are supposed to be there.
Yeah. So you figure it'll be Afonseca. It'll be
Big Quiche.
Big Quiche will be there. So the Usos, Solo. Unfortunately, Rosie and Jamal have passed, so we won't see them. Yokozuna's gone. We won't see them.
How cool would it be if we actually saw the Gorillas of Destiny? Like it'd be a stretch, but they're part of that bloodline.
They are. And who else? Like Jacob Fatu or something.
Bro, if I see Fatu on TV, I'm a pop. That guy's
I don't know how deep they're going to go with it. Tamina will probably be in there somewhere.
I would hope so.
They're not going to bring Naomi in for it because they want to make her appearance a bigger deal, I would guess.
I think we were talking about it earlier. I think Naomi returns at the Rumble,
which should be the third time she's done that.
Mm-hmm.
Because she did it in 2020, 2021, and she'd be doing it again.
3 years in a row.
Well, not quite.
Well, yeah.
She wasn't a surprise last year.
Yeah.
What else? Chris says one Rumble. Gender doesn't matter. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ripley won the men's either.
Give me a 60-person Rumble.
It's World War III all over again. If you know, you know.
That'd be great.
Sean says, not football related, but do you think that Liv Morgan could be the Iron Woman of the Rumble? If she enters first, or like in the first few, she did pretty well last year, although I think Bianca still outlasted her. So it's possible that Liv could be the Iron Woman.
I can easily see Liv being the Iron Woman this year.
I doubt that she'd want to
Because something tells me who I think's going to win is going to be entering probably early 20s.
That's very possible. I mean, in 2021, they did the early numbers. Last year, they did the late numbers. So they'll probably try and spread it out a little bit more. I think the men's rumble is going to be an early entrant. I figure Cody's going to be in the first 5.
Yeah. Cody is pulling the Iron Man spot this year.
Yeah. He might be another one to go from number 1 to win it all. Or number 2. I guess it really depends on what they want to do there. But fortunately, we don't have to talk about Benoit being the
lone number 1.
The last number 1 winner since Edge did it a couple years ago.
That was such a cool moment too. Edge winning the Rumble like that.
Yeah, I have to say, the pandemic Rumbles were a nice surprise.
That they well outperformed what they should have.
Because like you figured without a crowd, it's like, oh, the Rumble is going to be terrible. The women's one is one of the best ones I've ever seen that year.
Because when you think about the Rumbles, you think about the pops. It's the crowd involvement that brings the Rumble to life.
Yeah,
and those pandemic Rumbles proved that we don't need no crowds to get you guys invested into this.
Yeah, the only match that does need a crowd, Last Man Standing.
Yeah,
you need a crowd for those matches.
Could you imagine if Brock versus Roman had no audience?
I don't want
even with the tractor spot, it would have been one of the most boring fucking matches.
Yeah, it would have just been completely. It would not have been great. All right, we're getting in our last few minutes. Again, if you guys want to send anything.
What is your preview for Dynamite?
The preview for Dynamite is, I know there's an All-Atlantic Championship match happening. It's Orange Cassidy and who is it? Who is he facing? Kip Sabian? Is he facing?
I think
Sabian?
so, yeah. And then Bucks versus Top Flight, which should be a beautiful tag team match.
Bryan Danielson and Bandito. Also, Willow Nightingale and Tony Storm. That one's interesting.
One-on-one?
One-on-one, yeah.
That's going to be really fun.
Hangman is doing an interview with Renee Paquette. And Darby Allin and Kushida for the TNT title.
Oh, mama. I think me and my fiance were talking about that. That's got one of the potentials to be like, because Darby Allin is such a breakneck speed type wrestler. Yeah. Whereas Kushida is also that breakneck speed, but he is able to transfer that momentum into crazy submission attempts. So that match is going to be really fun to watch.
It's not Kip Sabian. It's Jay Lethal.
That's still even going to be a fun match. I'm a big Jay Lethal guy.
And Jake Hager and Ricky Starks.
What? That one don't fit.
Hey, he likes that hat.
I also like that hat. I was so tempted to buy one of those hats off of Amazon.
I was tempted to get the hat I bought on vacation. It was like a big straw hat, and then just take a picture and say, I like this hat.
Oh, just you wait, Greg. The pictures that are going to go on Twitter when I'm in San Antonio.
If you have time, you got to get to the arena first.
That's okay. I got the day after the Rumble to waddle around.
If you're not at the Rumble, though, that's what I'm saying. It's like that should be like, get your bags and take a rent-a-car or whatever you're doing. You just
stop off at the Dallas airport and be like, hey, you guys got any cowboy hats?
Yeah. We both get our Fightful Select Patreon email. Oh, you subscribe in Fightful Select. There we go. I've been subscribed for months. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. Again, if you want in the Rumble numbers game, please use the PayPal address only. If you send it to the Streamlabs, I'm going to have to recoup some of that cost because PayPal likes to take money. Look who's joining us.
Face.
It's Jeff Meacham.
We do have a beautiful face. It's just in the dark.
Jeff. Jeff can't hear or what? Where's he at?
I feel like we're in the Haunted Mansion.
Can I unmute him or no? Oh, they chose to mute themselves. Anyway.
Just wanted to say hi real quick. Love you both. Looking forward to next week's show.
Yeah, Jeff will be joining us next week. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby. Rumble!
It's the Rumble. I'm taking you out, Jeff, as we close the show. But anyway, next week we are doing the Rumble numbers game. Please use the PayPal address only. Again, anything that goes to the Streamlabs link takes money out. So considering that money is going to, Jesse, half the money is going to Jesse, want to keep that as much as possible. So please send the money to the PayPal, the gregcherrybrand@gmail.com PayPal only, because that is exclusively, I set that up exclusively for this. Any Streamlabs money will go to spins or whatever, but please send the money there. Watch the video. If you have any questions about where to do anything, or if you want involved, please DM me on Twitter @gregcherrybrand. Please do that. And that is it. We're going to go watch some Dynamites. Remember, special start time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern next week. We are starting a little bit earlier than we normally do. So please join us then. We'll see if we have all the spots filled. We're going to open that up to everybody. If you want to join, send me a message, send me the money, confirm your spot. And until next week, this has been the Greg Cherry Show. For Matty Laws, I'm Greg Cherry. Don't be a jag, and we'll see you next week right here on the Greg Cherry Show.
Love you all.